Today when I woke up, I had the plan to only teach one Pilates class and then head back home and do the tasks that I had on my to-do list. And what ended up happening was I was asked last minute to sub a Pilates class, and I got there and I was asked right before I was about to teach the Pilates class, which would be 2, to then stay even later to teach a yoga class right afterwards. And you know what I did? I said yes. I taught all 3 classes. And this type of adaptability is something that I was primed for in my mind from the very moment I got in my car and drove to that first class that I thought I was only going to that one class for the day. And I'm going to tell you how my mindset set me up for success to be able to sustain myself to be able to do something like that. My name is Emily Parr, and welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things self-development. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you all about having a superhero mindset and how you can do superhuman things if you think this way. So when I woke up this morning, I didn't have much of a plan for what I was going to bring with me to that first class. My intention was just to go and to serve whoever showed up, no matter how many people showed up, no matter what was going to happen for the day. I'm just going to be in service to the greater good. I am going to give my best shot no matter what happens, because I had this slight feeling that that first class would have low attendance, and sure enough, it did. I ended up only having one person, and when you teach somebody one-on-one, it always ends up taking up more of your attention and more of your energy because you're tailoring everything, custom tailoring to this person. There's also a difference in rate for that reason when you work with someone one-on-one versus when you're paid to teach an entire class and only one person shows up. So energy management is something that I have to be that much more cognizant of as a yoga, Pilates, and bar teacher. Now, that doesn't mean that I hold back though in terms of what I share or how I serve. And on my way to that class, having that feeling that I'm not really sure what the attendance is going to be like today. The weather is supposed to be super extreme. We have 35-degree heat. We're going to have a thunderstorm probably in the middle of me filming this video. And I'm just going to go in, and whatever happens is what happens. I'm going to keep my mind and my heart open. And on that drive to work, I decided to play some superhero music. Now, keep in mind, I just saw David Corenswet's, James Gunn's Superman a few nights ago, and I'm going to be weaving that into this conversation. Yesterday, I spent the entire day hyperfixating on the greater message of what Superman really is about. And I decided this morning that I was going to listen to Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler, the Wonder Woman and Superman themes, the like OG themes, the Christopher Reeve Superman, as well as this current one with David Corenswet, and the Linda Carter Wonder Woman theme, Powerpuff Girls theme, and Kim Possible, because those were all of my favorites growing up. And a huge reason why I'm able to do the things that I do, why I'm able to teach the way that I teach and move my body the way that I do, and I can teach up to 5 classes in one day, is because I have this superhero mindset. And frequency music is what helps us to attune to what we want to embody. So I listened to that music. I got all fired up. I could feel it in my bones. I could feel it in my blood. I could feel myself integrating the lessons of the new Superman movie, of really taking what we watch for entertainment and applying it into my everyday life. Of, at the end of the day, it's just about showing up and being a good person and doing the best that you can do. And more than ever than that, but feeling that it's an honor, feeling grateful to get to do it no matter what, not feeling the burden of it, not feeling the weight of, oh my God, I'm gonna have to give this person so much more energy. What an honor that I can help this person. What an honor that I'm being asked last minute that I can help somebody out and impact a whole bunch of people, and then be asked even more so to go deeper after the 2 Pilates classes into yoga. So by the time that 2 o'clock rolled around, I had my lunch, and I hadn't ate since 8 a.m. and I sat there eating my lunch, eating my poke bowl, which I love so much. That's like my go-to lunch. I sat there and I thought, this is what it's all about. And this message I could have just posted this as an Instagram story. I could have just posted this as a reel, but I really wanted to sit down and talk about it because I think that we are at a point in our society where we can no longer watch these movies, these films for entertainment purposes solely. We have to apply that attitude, that can-do mindset, that mindset of I'm just going to adapt. I don't know. Wonder Woman, Superman, they don't know. Batman, they don't know what the day is going to throw at them, but they get on top of whatever needs to be done and they adapt to it no matter what, because they know the most important thing is serving the greater good. So the to-do list and whatever is on it doesn't matter when you are being presented with opportunities to do good for others. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because time expands when you do good. The goodness that you put out comes back to you and expands your timeline so you can get things done. And guess what? I came home still super productive and had the balance of being able to rest. And I loved how they showed that in this recent Superman movie, which I highly recommend everybody goes and sees. It touched upon the importance of productive rest too, that you need time to recharge, you need time to refuel, you need time to reflect, you need a moment to yourself when the world feels like it's spinning too fast. But we balance that by creating a strong foundation. We balance that by having go-tos. I knew when I was hungry and I needed to refuel myself that I have my list of go-tos within the area for me to buy a healthy lunch or a healthy snack. If I didn't know that, then I would probably pick something as close to what's on my list as possible and then try to get myself home and nourish my body. So Superman has his tools. Superman goes into his little ice type of cave and he has his tools and he has a support system. Now, not all of us have a support system to wipe us off and clean us up, but the more that you build a structured routine, the easier it is for you to be able to manage a busy schedule, to be able to adapt. And the other thing is that the more that you practice adaptability, the more that you practice being able to go with the flow and being able to surrender and detach yourself from the expectations of the outcome for the day, the more that you actually find yourself being fulfilled by what comes up. That attachment to the outcome is what creates this lack, this sense of scarcity, this low self-worth, this feeling of like we always have to keep moving the goalpost. Oh, I did X, Y, and Z, but what about these other things that I was supposed to do? There will be tomorrow, and tomorrow may not be guaranteed, but you did something good today, and that's all that really matters. To really drive this home, the superhero mindset isn't about constant striving and ambition and trying to prove your strength and trying to prove how much you can sacrifice yourself for others. The superhero mindset is living in the heart and acting from the heart. What is going to feel the most fulfilling today? And when you wake up tomorrow and ask yourself that question, keep your heart open to things coming up and looking different than how you may expect it to be. And understand that all of the detours are actually divinely orchestrated so that you can be activated and uplifted into the person that you are meant to be so that you can uplift and activate others. So maybe your job isn't super physical, maybe your job is more intellectual, or maybe it is a job that requires a lot of your heart and a lot of your emotion, and it can be really easy to absorb the energy of the people around you. I want you to take on that superhero mindset and imagine a shield of protection around you. And imagine any of that negative energy just bouncing off of you, knowing that it is not yours, that you are protected in this shield. And in terms of having a position which maybe is more focused on intellect rather than physical strength or physical labor, remember to protect your mind, almost like putting your mind in sort of a bubble and filtering out the thoughts that do not serve you. And when we think about a job like this, where it's very physical, it actually combines all of these things, but when it's really physical, when you're taking on a really physical job, I want you to literally wipe away the debris and the dust, wipe it out of your hair, flip your hair. These are ways to protect yourself. These are some ways that you can protect your superhero powers. And remember that no matter what type of role that you are in your daily life, that what you do matters, that the way that you speak to people leaves an impression and leaves a greater impact more than you even know. And that is all the more reason why we have to be mindful and discerning in our interactions, and also show each other grace, kindness, and be patient. Because the more patient that we can be with that process of being adaptable, the least path of resistance opens up to us so that ease and abundance can flow. So you've created that structure for yourself, you've created that protection for yourself, and you can best serve the divine. It is our job, each and every single one of us. And every single one of us can make a difference in the smallest way. It could be literally just saying, "Hi, how are you?" instead of going straight for ordering your lunch. It could literally be smiling back at someone, having a very short conversation with someone, a compliment, genuine. It could just literally be listening to someone for a short period of time. You can still keep your boundaries and listen to someone and let them talk and let them know that they're being heard and understood and validated. It doesn't take a lot to be a true superhero, but we've put so much emphasis on superpowers being something beyond us, that we've forgotten our true humanity, that we've forgotten that our humanity is the most powerful part of us. So I hope you enjoyed this message, and I hope you share it with someone that might need it. You never know what people are going through behind the scenes. And I hope that you go and see the new Superman movie, because I'm going to be talking about it in a future video. So make sure to comment, like, and subscribe so that you'll stay tuned for that one, where I'm going to be talking about the impact that Superman has on divine masculinity. I'm someone who talks a lot about divine femininity, so you can check out those videos. But divine masculinity is rising, and Superman is one of the very best examples of that, and I'm going to be diving deeper into it very soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, stay golden.